This time we're diving into part 16, covering chapter 23. If you're new here and want to stay updated on my writing journey, consider joining my newsletter, the Boreas Brief, at the link in the description. Last time, Xavie arrived in the Academy and got a first impression. This time, let's see how life in the Academy shapes up. Here is part 16. Chapter 23. While the surface-born candidates might be used to greeting gestures of varying character depending on their home area, greeting gestures or kinesics in the Guard and the Academy are the same that are used in formal Borean settings, specifically within the community of elders. Most surface-born candidates have these or very similar kinesics. However, the execution observed in the Guard is exact and the motions detail as prescribed. Vademecum of the Academy, Alpha Cohort. 19 September 23, 5th Epoch. Xavie. Pax Phoebe does not join Bulam at the head of our unit like the others, but stops in the front middle. Presumably the cohort leader spot. I guess she is the presumptive cohort leader if required. She lays down the expectations, follow the schedule, get accustomed to working in an organized structure as a team, not necessarily always with the same teammates. All students are treated with respect and as equals. Catch up or ask for help on any subject you fall behind in. Seek medical attention the moment there is a health problem. Report any arising issue to your unit leader. If there is an issue with your unit leader, reporting would go to cohort leader directly, but for this year you go to one of the elders. When we are asked if this is understood and all kinds of disorganized agreements are given, we are introduced on the proper way of answering. After a few rounds, we master a proper yes mix, with mix being used as a gender-neutral address. Function and position are more important than the traits of the person holding it. She repeats that consent is required and expands that we are all now responsible for our contraceptive. There is no question about getting it. It is just not feasible to have it in our food like the seedlings we're used to in the tubes, as we are all different races. It would not be practical, so it is our responsibility. To this, Takash has to open his mouth. He obviously can't help himself. That's bullshit. It's the job of females to take care of it. It's not appropriate that males have to take that shit. I roll my eyes and kind of wish he'd already solved that problem of him being himself. Perhaps a pissed-off eagle would have been an idea. Pax Phoebe walks over and stands right in his space, their bodies nearly touching. It is kind of funny, her being an elf, a good head taller than him. The slight bulge of her breast is right in front of his face. Oh, it's clear she does this on purpose. The whole assembly is dead quiet. When she speaks, she does not need to raise her voice. Everyone can hear what she says crystal clear. Everyone is the same. Everyone takes the contraceptive. That you have a different opinion earned you a no in the consent department from at least half the females. So think before you open your mouth again, and don't you dare challenge these rules. The Academy is inflexible in these. Your unit leader is inflexible in these. I am inflexible in these. Leadership is inflexible in these. Play by the rules or you won't have an opportunity to be denied consent. You don't get an opportunity to participate. Then she yells to all of us, right in Takash's face. Is this clear? A resounding yes mix sounds. Takash is beet red, yet defiant looking. I guess this was not the last of this. We are then sent to return to our domes. There will be guides to show us around and introduce us to the layout, locations, facilities, and in general give us an idea of where things are. As we return to our dome, a male Fae in blue uniform is awaiting us. He will be our point of contact and our guide for the next few days. They've put together the Vademecum, a guide booklet, for reference as well, but admit it could be improved to reflect all that is important from a new student's perspective. We are given an avalanche of information, including a lot of pointers and advisories for the tubes folks. Practice tying shoes. Don't neglect the weather forecast. It will get cold here in winter, so dress accordingly. Decide early on what specializations are of interest to you and which are not. There is too much material to learn it all. Prioritize. Never neglect exercising and defense skills. You will regret it bitterly in a few months if you do. If you're not up to snuff, start sorting it out now. There will be a scavenger hunt in the next couple days. Remember everything you are getting told on the tour. Learn and practice the kinesics, the greetings. It will be expected that you can perform these absolutely flawlessly. Don't embarrass yourself, your pentalot, and your unit by floundering in the least. We are then given a tour, starting with central stores where we are matched to our weapons, staff, bow, arrows, karambits. Next is the most important location besides the dome, the refectorium. Granted, it would have been easy to find, just following the nose and the noise. We are shown around the Academy, the grounds, and then the Hammer, a valley behind the Academy that plays host to an obstacle course that we'll need to master to progress. In the afternoon, we make our way to the assembly yard to practice the kinesics. The first is the pass-on or farewell kinesic. It will be performed every time we lose someone to send them off with respect. There is an order in greeting based on standing of the individuals. The second kinesic, the formal kinesic, is used when greeting someone with higher standing as a gesture of respect or to acknowledge defeat. Then there is the informal kinesic. It's used among peers or, depending on standing, in answer to a former. At this moment, Paxphobia approaches our group and asks me to follow her. Rian looks at me questioningly, and I give my shoulders a brief shrug. I don't know. We enter one of the towers, the one northwest from the yard. We go up to the third level, and I stop in the doorway, seeing the figure in the grey cloak and hood there. What is this about? Relax, a female voice from under the hood. I have a letter for you from Yelna. Paxphobia looks at me questioningly. I also have a suggestion. Open and read it when you are alone, she continues. She hands me the letter and walks past me, past Paxphobia, and down the stairs. Who is Yelna? And how is this related to her? Paxphobia asks, pointing with her thumb over her shoulder. Yelna is my mate back at home, and I have no idea how it is related to them. Who are they, anyhow? Your mate? Bonded or not. And you know there are more. You have seen them before. Let's just say that wherever they show up, the elders pay them their respect. This should tell you enough, at least for now. No, not bonded, but we hoped the bond would fall in place, I answer quietly. She studies me for a moment. You don't want to talk about it. Then let's talk about that Easterner with the loud opinions. Do you know him? Takash. I would not say I know him. We ran into their group on the road, a few days north of Valdor. It made the journey, let's say, interesting. Since he opened his mouth in assembly, I guess there will be more coming. She narrows her eyes at me. You had an altercation with him? No. More like he did not want to accept a no by somebody he tried to force himself on and was not open to reasoning. Her eyes shoot up. It got physical? Briefly. And then? Then it was a quiet night. I see. Xavie looks at me, thinking. Do you want to stay up here, reading your letter? There is not much more happening today. Your guide will explain the uniforms and some basic things that are all written in the vademecum. It's mainly for the benefit of the seedlings, and about engaging with each other. But I dare say that is of low interest to you. You have a maid, go figure. Wait, Yelna? Is she an elder in your village? I nod. Yes, she is. And I think I will stay up here. I say with apprehension. I don't like the suggestion of being alone to read this letter. I even contemplate not reading it at all. Or not yet, letting it sit for a time. I don't know. I'll leave you to it then. I'm going to be in the arena for a couple hours if you need to talk. Or need an outlet. Xavie says. She leaves without waiting for a response or reaction on my part. I stare out at the landscape without seeing. Do I want to know what Yelna has to tell me as soon as I'm here that she could not tell me at home? And this letter comes via one of the folks in grey. What does that mean? Does it mean anything? Is it important what it means? How is this connected to Yelna? Or how is Yelna connected to them? Xavie said the elders pay their respects. It is at least not something unknown. An organization above the elders, or at least with a standing higher than the elders. Here we are again. Same questions, different place, different time, same lack of clarity and answers. Same lack of control. Is this what I felt Yelna has been not telling me? That she is in some way involved with them? Nah, that would be an easy answer, and no need to be secretive about it. Unless the elders in Shamain do not know. But that can't be. What does it matter? It does not help me figuring out anything. I can guess all I want. The only way to know is to open and read the damn letter. It has been 2 weeks since that cursed letter in the tower. I am in the office they escorted me to and left me there. I assume my fate here in the Academe is decided over right now. I attacked an instructor. I am pacing in the room, back and forth and back again. Yelna laid out all kinds of reasons in the letter. Reasons why we should end our relationship. I did not believe a single one, nor believed that she did. I don't remember that part of her letter. It's not relevant. Because of what she wrote next. You were right all along, the letter read. You were right that there is something I'm not telling you about, that I have been keeping from you, and that I still can't tell you about, will not tell you about. And you not being able to know about this, me not being able to keep this from you if we stay in this relationship, that is what breaks me. That is why I must end it. I can't. I won't, she wrote. I have to make the choice between keeping the secret and us. There is only one option for me. I will protect the secret, even if it costs my happiness, your happiness, our happiness, my life, our lives. There is no other choice. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if this is an excuse or if she needs this as an excuse for herself. I don't care. It does not change anything. It does not matter. Not going there. Not again. I hardly remember the last 2 weeks. I remember vaguely going to the arena after reading the letter. I needed to tame that rage. Paxphobe was there, as she said. She knew. I did not need to explain. She made sure I exhausted the rage to a point that I could get through the night. Ever since, I have been going running every morning. They told us what the hammer entails. Might as well get started on training for it. I stop pacing in the room and look around. There are no chairs, only a desk shoved against the back wall, opposite from the door. I don't remember much from the scavenger hunt, the harvest festival, or the Academe birthday celebration. The days since the letter are a blur, or most are. Only very few clear moments remain. Assessment for defense was a disaster. Bula paired me with Takash. Takash had especially taunting comments earlier today. It is too soon after the letter and my rage is still burning. It seems no amount of running in the morning can squelch that beast, exhaust, or even tire it. It was a fight all day long. Most of the time I was barely holding on. This much I remember. I sit on the desk, cross-legged, leaning against the wall, facing the door. I'll lean my head back and close my eyes, trying to calm down, find my center. The challenge started out well enough. Takash was coaxing me to let loose more. I kept my cool, kept my control. Then Takash taunted that he'd go and visit Rion right after he defeated me. It being high time he finally got a taste of her, got to use her, got to force me into sharing her. My control snapped. I went through Takash like an arrow through a sheet of paper. Bula made the mistake of stepping in, grabbing me from behind. I turned on him and reacted. He could parry for a bit, but after a few seconds he was down too. Only once Paxphobe stepped into the sparring area and got me to focus on her, only then could I get a grip on my rage and tamp it down. I don't need to wait long before Paxphobe enters. She closes the door and leans with her back against it, studying me. We need to get your rage under control. You have no reason to trust me yet, but please believe me that I know. She holds up a finger to silence my retort. You're off the hook this time. Bula made 3 mistakes. First, I told him not to pair you with any of the aspirants. I know better than to let you onto a mat in your condition. Second, he grabbed you from behind while you were in the middle of a challenge. And third, he was utterly unprepared for any attack. So yeah, he made mistakes. And I dare say, once he wakes up, he'll have learned a lesson. As for Takash, it was you who told me we will see more of his brand of behavior. Not making excuses, just laying out some reference markers for you. He will keep going there. For one, I don't think he learned, which makes me think there is more to it. But mostly, he knows he can rile you. Do not give him that control. Do you hear me? I scoot to the front of the desk, put my feet down on the ground, and sit on the edge. But I attacked an instructor. How can this be all right? I glare at Paxphobe, trying to read if she's playing any kind of game. It does not make sense. She shakes her head. You reacted to someone grabbing you from behind while in a challenge on the mat. This someone happened to be an instructor. That is the big difference. Your first step to control is to accept who you are. It is highly unlikely that you will ever get rid of that rage. But you should learn to control it. Control how much it drives and controls you. This rage can be a formidable ally or your biggest nemesis. It is up to you to decide which way you'll go. My suggestion, don't suppress it. You will not succeed with this. It will come out. You can't win. You can only partner. You seem to know a lot about this, I muse. Paxphobe just lifts an eyebrow. So now what? Going back to class like nothing happened? She simply nods, pushes off the door, and opens it, waving me out. Since that day, most keep their distance. I don't mind. It gives me some quiet time to think. I can control my response and whether I respond at all. It was about a day before Bulam was released from the infirmary. A concussion and bruises to his skin and his ego. The moment I saw him, I apologized. He was apprehensive but friendly, accepted my apology, and he said several folks laid into him because of what happened. But no matter what they said, only one had already driven home the lesson he needed to learn. Takash was in the infirmary for 3 days. Other than a concussion and bruises, he also has a broken nose and some internal swelling they wanted to monitor. Since he was released, he has been trying to goad me into a fight, as was to be expected. He then tried to escalate by getting physical, but by luck or whatever reason, there was always an instructor or staff member around that wanted him to knock it off. His latest tactic seems to be a longer-term plan. He started recruiting accomplices. This morning at assembly, some adjustments were announced to the schedule that did not affect our unit, so why pay attention? Now, in the afternoon, I remember the change. Shit. Alpha 1 and Alpha 4 switched spots in physical defense. Takash's unit trains with us now. Paxphobe announces the training partners. She actually pairs me with Takash. As everyone gets started, she comes to us. You two are among the strongest ones this year. You would be the champions if you can get your brains and lesser instincts under control. Let's see if at least one of you can manage that. Naturally, Takash has to open his mouth. I'm going to pay you back for the other day. I will trample you. And on he goes. Not if you keep running your mouth. This shuts him right up, and he starts with a vicious opening attack. Interesting. There is rage there as well. A different kind of rage. One he needs to rile himself up into. But I can recognize it. Turns out he's actually a good sparring partner. He can keep up and challenge me at times. It's not simple. Good. After a couple more weeks, we are settled into this new reality, our new reality, including me. I contemplate for a long time how I should react to Yelna's letter, to her message. Then I remembered what I recognized the other day. I can't control her, her motivations or her reasoning, nor any of what is happening with the elders, the ones in grey, and whatever she is not telling me about. I can only control how I react to it, how I deal with it, what I do with it. And while it is painful, while it might be a mistake, I need to take back that control as well. If we were destined to become bonded mates, that bond would have fallen into place by now. At least, that is what I tell myself. And so, at the end of October, I have my answer. My letter to her is short. I wish her the best for her life, that she may find happiness and a mate with whom she may share all that she is. She deserves this. I mean every word. Come the Dark Moon Festival, after the more formal part of celebrations, remembering and honoring of the ones lost, the festive part starts. This time around, I notice how many are open or interested in some releasing of tension. I'm neither in the mood, nor do I think there is someone I might be interested in. Yes, I'm still somewhat hung up on Yelna, but even more, the young and lesser experienced do not tempt me. I have no appetite for this stumbling around and trying to figure out what works, what everyone wants and prefers. No, that does not sound enticing at all. Many folks left in groups of 2s, 3s, and 4s with some obvious indicators of what is happening wherever they go. Some remain, and there is a throng of them between the fire and the beverages. I said, "No, don't you touch me." Someone becomes a bit agitated. I'm over there in no time. As I start to push through the fray, folks start to make a path. And there he is, Takash, grabbing an Easterner female by the nape. Looks like he is trying to haul her off. It's obvious she's not consenting. Not that Takash would care. "Takash, let her go," I tell him quietly, making sure I have a good, solid stance. "You stay out of it. She is here, I select her, so we go," he snaps at me. I don't think so. Does not sound to me like she agrees. Or do you? I ask the female. She tries to speak. Takash barks quiet at her, but she manages a small shake of her head. I thought so. I fix him with a stare. "Takash, there is no agreement. I'll let her go." "Or what?" he spits at me, whirling around to face me, pulling the female with him. I cock my head and look at him, raising an eyebrow. "You're going to put me back into the infirmary? That would be a stupid move, attacking a fellow student unprovoked," he mocks. "Oh, while it might be unprovoked directly, it would be to defend a member of the Academy against aggression," Ulan chimes in from my right. "Xavie, be my guest." He gestures with his hand and arm invitingly, offering me Takash. I take a step forward. Takash retreats half a step, until he bumps against a wall of students. He thinks, his eyes darting around as he assesses the situation. Then his gaze snaps back to me, his eyes narrowing. He pushes the female my way and forces his way through the students behind him. They let him pass. I catch the female and help her stand on her own. I look her over, but I see no injuries. At least, no visible ones. "Thank you," she stammers. "Don't mention it. I'm sorry this guy has not learned yet, and you had to experience this." "It's not your fault. He is the weirdo." The gathering dissolves. I notice that females go in 2s and 3s. As I watch, Paxphobe steps beside me and asks, "What do you see?" What I see is that the females are careful, scared, at least for today. They group. I don't like it. This means this is too far off balance, has gone on for too long. She looks at me, then nods. "Starting tomorrow, you have additional classes after the official end of your schedule. Every day, 2 hours. Meet me in the arena after your schedule, my office." Without waiting for a reply, without giving me a chance to ask why or what, she walks off. Over the next few weeks, Paxphobe selects additional folks for her extra classes. Among them Arian and Cleon. Paxphobe uses this time to refine our techniques in all defenses, while at the same time giving us a primer of the leadership specialization. Her reasoning is that most likely we all would have selected this specialization, and by giving us an early start, we will be ready to take unit leader positions come the next transition day. We prepare for the hammer challenge. Outside we run the course and exercise on the stations. Once it gets too cold, we continue on replicas in the arena. In the weeks following the Darkmoon Festival, a shift within the students happens. Orion points it out to me. It appears that Takash gets more isolated, avoided, while when in groups or assembly, whatever I do is getting copied. Paxphobe still has me paired with Takash for sparring most of the time. Occasionally, other sparring partners are thrown into the mix, sometimes even 2 or 3. 2 separate groups approach me in a span of a month, suggesting a way to get back at Takash. Both times I ask they not go ahead with it, as for one they would be violating some rules. 2, it would not serve any purpose other than Takash being reaffirmed. And 3, it is generally better to allow someone like Takash enough rope so they can hang themselves. The folks are not happy about it, but see the point. By the Yule Festival, I have the distinct feeling that something is missing, that there should be more cohesion between the students. I bring this up in the group with Paxphobe. A discussion ensues. I'm only paying half attention to the group. I focus on Paxphobe. She is uncharacteristically quiet and watches me with narrowed eyes, tapping her nose with her index finger, thinking. Xavie, do you remember what you said at the Darkmoon Festival after resolving Takash's overreach? The group falls quiet. I consider. After that event, I made sure the female was okay, then stood and observed. We observed the remaining females grouping together or being in groups. It looked like they were scared or at least extremely cautious. I said that I don't like that it means it's too far off balance. Exactly. You picked up on that all that time ago. Boreas is about balance. The guard is about balance. And we are out of balance. That is why there is no cohesion. There is too much apprehension. We need to find a way to unite all, make all a part of one. Rian muses. We are the guard, the Academe. But what does this mean? This is abstract. We need to make it tangible. Yet, a male stout thinks out loud. It can't be an object. It needs to be words. It can't be complicated or long. It needs to be concise, memorable. Then Yat and Rion look at each other and together they say, we need a slogan. And Rion continues, a guard song. After a few more days of discussion and discarding many good suggestions, we finalize that it needs to be more a chant than an actual song. The moment there is someone uncomfortable with singing, it would alienate them, the opposite of what we need. We agree on 3 lines, 3 sentences, 3 messages. After more discussions and pulling out discarded suggestions, we arrive at: do not take on lightly that good fight. The guard shall stand proud at the end of the day. Hold balance, serve Boreas, rekindle that light. The next day, after we put forth this suggestion, Rian asks if she can demonstrate something. She had an idea for what to do with the song or chant, to actually chant it. She puts together her staff and with it, to emphasize, punches the floor. The effect is striking. Just imagining how this would sound if the entire assembly does this. That's it, I mutter. Paxphobe is thinking, how do you get a large group to a synchronized start? I have to agree, this is the chant, this is what will pull them all together. How do we start them all out synchronized? You mean the whole cohort? Rian asks, astonished. I mean the whole assembly. Right now that is 1 cohort. Come September it will be 2, Paxphobe counters. It needs to be a visual signal, Rion muses. Everybody stand up, I say. To my surprise, all stand without question, with Paxphobe being the first. I make use of the room we have in the arena. I position Rion somewhat to the front, and then everybody else as if in an assembly. I stand at the back, Paxphobe joining me. What are you up to? She whispers. Rion, do your chant. Then whispering to Paxphobe, I say, getting a visual impression. And there it is, Rion's stuff, thumping the rhythm and rising and falling with it. Rion, you have everything you need to get a synchronized start for everyone. Your staff is the visual signal. It's visible from the back when you do your chant. Adding something to the front before the chant begins gives you your start. Paxphobe is thinking, but it's neither a song nor a chant. A song is melodic and has a rhythm. A chant still has a rhythm. While I wholeheartedly agree with the emphasis points with the staff, it is not rhythmic. This is not a chant, technically. She trails off. A creed? Yet asks. Yes, Paxphobia agrees, enthusiastically. A week later, we have it down. Rion gets volunteered to take the lead and agrees. It's her idea with the staff. She did not want to be in front of everybody initially, but after several rounds of rehearsing, she's gotten a taste for being the lead. Her smile says it all. The effect, even when done in our small group, is astounding. Once we are ready, Paxphobia announces that the next day, all heads of departments, all senior administrative staff, the elders, and the principal will be coming so we can suggest the slogan and demonstrate the creed. And to ask to have it added to the assembly every morning. 3 days later, in morning assembly, our small group, led by Rion, performs the creed. It is then announced that everybody will participate in it from that day on, and that they better get the creed and the rhythm right. After about a week, the creed works. Everybody is participating. The effect when the 138 that are left do it is energizing, bonding. Exactly what we needed. Winter turns into spring. We learn, we train, our group gets additional training and knowledge under the tutelage of Paxphobia. We lose 3 former seedlings in the winter. Most have a hard time experiencing season for the first time and underestimating the effect they have. It's at the Esther Festival that Takash has another run-in. This time, though, he earns himself an official warning. Enough other students and staff were around that nothing happened at the festival other than another female being approached by Takash, unwelcome treated and trying to touch. Unpleasant at a minimum and utterly out of place in general. Come May, we are all in hammer preparations. It is at that time that Takash announces he will take the first challenge, and after he masters the hammer, he will demand to be named into the leadership position, because after all, he is here to run the guard in a couple of years. The first hammer challenge happens in the second week of June. Most who attempt fail. Over time, we will learn that a successful first attempt is rare. I, of course, needed to sign up for the very first one. Not many of us attempted, only 8 in total. Takash is also in this group, as was to be expected. The first 3 that go have to give up at different stations. Takash is the first to start. He staggers to the starting line with haughtiness and declares that this is how it's done. Then he is on his run. He's doing pretty well, only a few minor mistakes he can easily recover from. At the 6th station, the monkey bars, he slips and has now the choice of giving up or taking the time penalty of starting at the beginning of the station again. He chooses the latter. It is obvious he is flustered by this mishap. He starts to make mistakes more frequently, small ones, but mistakes nonetheless. He needs 2 attempts to scale the wall, that is the 7th station. Then, on the 8th station, the rotating tables, he slips, stumbles, gets his foot caught and squished between 2 tables. This in turn pulls him off his feet completely, and he lands with his head at an unfortunate angle. He breaks his neck. Takash becomes the first fatality of the hammer. We all knew that the hammer would be tough. There is a quiet that falls over the crowd. Nearly all the Academy is out there. True, it was Takash, and he was not well liked. But this is sobering. They remove the body, carry him back. Someone inspects the tables and clears them so they're good to go for the next attempt. The next 2 challengers have to give up, both at the wall, being unable to scale it. They are still a bit shaken, unsure. Then it is my turn. With how this hammer challenge has been starting out, it surprises me to actually finish it. The last to attempt the hammer also has to give up. At the end of the day, I am the first freshling in the Academy. As this progression comes with a different uniform color, I stand out like a sore thumb, the only one in May green. The next morning at assembly, it is announced that I will be taking over deputy unit leadership for Alpha 3 from Bulam, effective immediately. Pax Phobe's additional mentoring, the additional training, and me changing my perspective have helped me find my center, my peace, my balance. Come July, I'm certain that I am at a place I should be, doing what brings me fulfillment. I'm looking forward to what is to come next. By end of August, once the last hammer challenge is concluded, we have lost 8 to the hammer. Takash was the first fatality, but not the only. The hammer collects its dues. From the 140 aspirants at the beginning of the year, we are now 102 freshlings and 27 aspirants. Starting on 12th September, the Academy and our cohort begin with the preparations to welcome the next cohort, the next year, into the Academy. In 1 week, it is transition day. With this comes the naming of some new unit leaders, and as we will have 2 cohorts, the introduction of cohort leaders. In most cases, the current unit leaders become the unit leaders of the beta cohort. The deputy unit leaders become the unit leaders of the alpha cohort. Clean for Alpha 3. In all cases, deputy positions are filled by freshlings. Pax Phobe becomes the leader of the beta cohort and names me her deputy. Bayer becomes cohort leader of the alpha cohort, and Rion is named deputy. Most functions on transition day will be filled with freshlings, albeit with an instructor or administrative staff member nearby at all times. I'm using this time to reflect on the last year, my first year in the Academy. A lot of things have changed, but some haven't. I'm still feeling a melancholic stab when thinking about Jana. There is still this nagging question of what could have been, what would have been. And then there is this all-eclipsing feeling of belonging right here, the Academy, the Guard, of being where I need to be, where I belong, where I should be, where I must be. This is my place, my new tribe. This is what I should do. I've also learned a lot about the tubes, their history, the concept, how they function, what their purpose is. It helps a lot to understand the change, the challenge the seedlings experience when transitioning. For them, it is a true transition unlike anything the surface-born experience. Do I agree with everything and how it's done? No. Do I need to agree? Also no. I only can accept and understand. Ever since Takash no longer graces us with his presence, the overall tension within the group of students has significantly eased. It is remarkable how much of a negative effect one person can have on a larger group. I assume the same could be said for a positive effect. And that brings us to the end of this reading. Well, that was an eventful first year in the Academy. And it sure sounds like Xavie found his place. Let me know if you foretold correctly that his relationship with Yana will end in the comments below. If you want to explore more of this world, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, the Boreas Brief, at the link in the description. It's where I share all my secret projects and early updates first. Next time, in part 17, we'll see what comes next in the Academy. How will it change with the next cohort of students arriving? Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it, or click the playlist right here to catch up on any episodes you've missed. Peace.